All right, so we're going to dive into Alison McLean's song, You Be You. But here's the thing. This is way more than just breaking down some lyrics. It's kind of like a roadmap, a guide for dealing with all the craziness of modern life and, figuring out how to be your true self. So the song kicks off with this really cool, kind of mysterious line. The unseen is powerful. And right away, that just pulls you in, doesn't it? It tells us we're not going to be talking about the outside world, but all those powerful forces inside of us that really shape who we are.
Which, of course, makes you wonder, what is this unseen energy she's talking about? The song says we're reminded of it every day, so what is this invisible thing that's supposedly so core to who we are?
Well, according to the lyrics, this energy is basically you. It's your core, authentic self, your true essence. It's that part of you that's so unique and fundamental that you can't even really put words to it. It's beyond describable. You can't just slap a simple label on it. And after setting up this idea of a deep inner self, the song hits us with its core message. And it's so simple. You be you. That's it. That's the whole mission. Just live your life in a way that's true to that unseen, authentic energy. Okay, but if it's that simple, why is it so hard for us to do? Right? Well, the song points to a huge problem, something I think pretty much everyone can relate to. It's this constant pressure from the modern world that basically creates a war inside ourselves. And here it is, the big trap. Our quest for efficiency stops us looking too deeply. Think about it. The world is always screaming at us to be faster, more productive, more efficient. But that constant rush, that's the very thing that stops us from connecting with that deep inner self we were just talking about. And this whole obsession with efficiency, it has real costs. There's this constant pressure in delivery, right? We feel it all the time. It makes us get tunnel vision, so we don't even see all the different paths we could take. And at the end of the day, it just stops us from really truly looking at our own lives and the choices we're making. And all this rushing around leads to something the song calls impatience. And I love this definition. It's not just, getting annoyed in traffic. The song calls it an argument with reality. You're literally fighting against the way things are. And wow, is that an exhausting way to go through life? So how do we stop arguing with reality? How do we break out of that trap? Well, to do that, the lyrics give us this really powerful metaphor that completely changes how we think about control in our own lives. The idea is this: life is a chess game. The next play is our call. See, instead of just being pushed around by all those external pressures, this puts us back in the driver's seat. We're not just reacting anymore. We're the ones making the moves. The power is ours again. Let's unpack that a little. The board itself, that's your life's circumstances, the stuff you can't always control. But every single move you make on that board, that's a choice, a conscious decision. And here's the most powerful part. The next play is always your call. No matter what the board looks like, you decide what to do next. And don't think for a second that these moves are small. Oh no. Every single choice you make, it affects it all. It creates these ripple effects that change the entire game, the whole board. Okay, so if impatience is the problem, this argument with reality, and our life is this strategic chess game, then what we need is a whole new strategy. We need an antidote to this obsession with rushing through everything. And just look at the difference here. Impatience is an argument, but patience, that's a dance with reality. A quest for efficiency feels frantic and closed off, but patience creates the space to see all the possibilities. It's pretty clear, right? One totally drains your energy, while the other helps you align with your natural rhythm. And I think this is so key. The song isn't talking about patience as just sitting around and waiting. It's an active thing. It's about cultivating habits where we dance in patience. A dance. It's this graceful, skillful practice of moving with reality instead of constantly fighting against it. All right, so this all builds up to the final piece of the puzzle. How do we actually do this, in our day-to-day lives? How do we learn that dance? Well, it all comes down to finding your own natural rhythm. Every single one of us has a unique pace, a flow that's authentic to us. The whole goal is to tune into that rhythm and start living by it, instead of constantly trying to keep up with the world's demand to just go faster, faster, faster. And this brings us to a really fascinating paradox, something that flips our whole idea of productivity on its head. Get this, that quest for efficiency we're all on, it actually uses up more energy. Isn't that wild? The very thing we do to try and save time and be more productive, all the rushing, the forcing, the impatience, is the most draining, inefficient way to live. That constant argument with reality just burns us out. That's the paradox. So, when you put it all together, the song gives us this clear, 5-step path to being you. First, you have to acknowledge that unseen energy, your true self. Then, you gotta recognize the trap of impatience. After that, you reclaim your power. Remember, the next move is your call. Then, you practice that dance in patience. And finally, you find and honor your own natural rhythm.
And that brings us full circle right back to the beginning. All of it, the chess game, the dance, the rhythm, it's all in service of this one simple, powerful idea. You be you. So I guess the real question the song leaves us with is, what's your next move going to be to make that happen?